Hey everybody, Heather from Hooked on Pickin here. We're going to wait for a few people to jump on live, but this is my 11 o'clock live stream, and today's topic is going to be don't be afraid to sell on Amazon. I've actually gotten a lot of consultation calls where that's the number one question asked is, I'm really nervous about selling on Amazon. So we're going to walk through some of the things that you might be fearful of, and hopefully I can alleviate some fears. But I want to say a big thank you to those of you who are my Patreon supporters. I actually put this topic out about 2 hours ago on my Patreon page, so you knew I was going to discuss this. If you have any other reseller questions, feel free to go ahead and ask those as well. I like to stay close to on topic, but if you guys have reseller questions, you know me, I'm an open book. I'd love to be able to tell you all of those things. Go ahead and give me a shout out. And so if you are here, my hubby will go ahead and say your name and let us know that you're online, just so that I know who is here and what questions that you guys have. And I'd love to be able to answer those. So go ahead and just say hello, say where you're from, let us know how long you've been reselling. That gives us an idea of who we're talking to. And I love to interact with you guys. So that's really, really awesome. Let us also know if we have any kind of stream interruptions, lag, delay, or sound issues, because that always helps us as well. We don't always know how it's feeding through the internet, and sometimes we have spotty internet here in the rural area. So big thank you to my patrons, and then also big thank you to all of you subscribers who are always online and regularly watch my videos. We've got some fun ones going out. I hope you've enjoyed the unboxing I did for my health and beauty. Believe it or not, I actually unboxed that on Monday and had everything shipped out as of yesterday of all of those items. Over 200 went to the Amazon warehouse, and then I have a bunch that I'm going to do in my own local garage sale. So check out my hookedonpickin.com store. I have severely discounted a ton of stuff on there, and whatever doesn't sell in the next couple of weeks, I'm throwing in a garage sale. So if you want it, make sure you look for it right now, and make sure that you purchase it right now. Go ahead and go right now. You can jump back on later to the live stream as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Glass W says, hello, so glad I get to catch you live today.
And I love chatting with you on our live stream, or on our consultation call, Gladys. Good to see you again.
Zookeeper15133 says, hi.
Hello.
And I think we're caught up right now.
All right, perfect. So I just wanted to kind of cover the topic of being afraid to sell on Amazon, because it's definitely one that's out there. There's lots of YouTubers like me that like put the scary voice on and, you're going to get banned and your life will be over as a reseller and all of those things. So don't fret. I've actually walked through an Amazon banning and came out on the other end alive. I wouldn't say unscathed, because I definitely learned my lesson about a few things, and that's why I kind of want to do this video to give you guys some feedback. If you don't understand anything that I'm saying and have questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comment section. My husband will go ahead and read them to me, and I'll be able to answer you. Yeah, more people jumped on live?
Yes. Joe Harrell says, hello, Heather and Paul from Southern Missouri. And Gladys says, me too. This is a wonderful topic today.
Awesome. So also, if you like the content that I'm giving out, smash that like button. We like to get as many likes as possible, because it definitely puts us up in the viewership so more people can see this awesome information. And then also, if you really, really like it, you can also donate. If you can't find your like button on your mobile device, just close the live chat. It should appear, and then you can open the live chat back up. So hopefully that's helpful. So let me give you some things that I kind of printed out. You can go to your account health page. It's right off your dashboard. If you scroll down on your desktop, on the left-hand side, there's a button you can click that says Account Health, just like this. And it gives you where is your account on Amazon actually at. If you're not a seller on Amazon Seller Central yet, you can find this after you create your account. But some of the things that you need to be aware of when selling on Amazon is you need to make sure that you keep a good rating, a high enough rating in specific categories. The biggest category that I kind of failed in initially when I got on my Amazon account was my seller fulfillment. So you know how I say there's merchant fulfill where we ship it ourselves, and then there's Amazon FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon, where they ship it from the warehouse. Well, you don't really have to be concerned about that, other than you need to make sure your condition is phenomenal so you don't get any claims, and then also so that you don't get bad customer feedback back on what you send in. So make sure everything you send to the warehouse is in pristine store-bought type of condition. Okay, that would be my full recommendation. You can sell things in lower condition only if you list them as used and give every possible condition note. Let them know that the box is crushed, anything like that. So just remember that when people order from Amazon, sometimes they're ordering for themselves. They don't care if it has a little dinged up box. But if they're ordering for mom and dad or a birthday present, you definitely don't want to ship a birthday present to someone that has a dinged box. So make sure you're aware of that and keep that condition great when you send it to the Amazon FBA warehouse. So seller fulfilled is where I kind of messed up a little bit on my Amazon account early on. You must ship the item within 24 hours of receiving full payment. And so just make sure you always pull up your seller app every day. And if you're not going to be able to ship it within 24 hours, make sure you take your merchant fulfill offline. Basically, you just take your seller fulfilled items and zero them out until you're back in town and able to make that shipment. So I have a video on that. Go ahead and send me an email if you want to find that. But it's one of my recent ones I did on how to put Amazon on vacation. So check that out. I kind of go through the steps of how I basically clear out my seller fulfilled and then reinstate it as soon as I get back. Also, when it comes to buyer messages, you need to make sure that you answer those within 24 hours. Otherwise, you get kind of a defective mark. So you have to stay under 1% of your seller fulfilled orders on a defect rate. And so like mine currently right now is at 0.61%. So I'm under that 1%. And that means the last 60 days, my rating is 0.61%. Of course, it's easier to stay under that 1% the more items you sell that are in great condition. If you only sell 2 or 3, sometimes it can pop over that 1% because if you have one bad thing and you've only sold 5 things seller fulfilled, that makes a big difference. And so just know that the more quantity you do, if you can keep it in great condition, that's really, really helpful. So shipping it within 24 hours, answering messages within 24 hours. But that's not the biggest thing that really got me in trouble. One of the things that really got me in trouble was ignoring basically what's called product policy compliance. So I basically ignored or didn't know what to do with IP claims or what's called intellectual property claims. Now, most of you know, if you've sold on Amazon before, there are specific areas where you're gated or ungated. And so if you're gated, that means you cannot sell that product. It doesn't matter. Now, you can request approval and see if you can get ungated. You can submit invoices from direct wholesalers, and you can get ungated in some brands and some categories. So you can try to do that, which I have done multiple times and gotten the opportunity to sell other things I couldn't sell before. So if you're restricted, don't even send it in. Put it on eBay, put it on Poshmark, put it on Facebook Marketplace. Sell it somewhere else. You cannot sell it on Amazon. But there were some items that it said I could sell on Amazon, and then so I shipped it in, and as soon as it hit live at the warehouse, which generally is 7 to 10 days after you ship it from your place, all of a sudden I get this email saying, copyright, intellectual property, you can't sell on this listing. And it sounds really big and scary. And it should sound really big and scary because that means that someone has solely exclusive rights to that listing. The first time I got one of those, I'm like, it's another FBAer like me. They're trying to scam me. They don't want competition on my listing. So therefore, I'm just going to kind of back and forth email with them. Well, the problem with back and forth emailing with them was my item stayed live on the Amazon Marketplace, and then it actually sold. And then that was a huge mark against me because I was not actually technically supposed to sell that. But there was no way for me to know. They said copyright, all that stuff. It was the authentic item. It was legitimately brand new in package. I did nothing wrong, but they had exclusive rights as the wholesaler and distributor for that listing. And so there was no way for me to know until I got that email. So when you guys get an email like that, intellectual property claim or copyright claim, my recommendation for you to keep a healthy Amazon account is say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize this was an exclusive listing. I will delist my item and have it removed right away. So create a removal order. As soon as that removal order has said that your item is zeroed out, you delete and close the listing, and then you take that item name and ASIN and UPC, you put it on a Word document so you keep documentation and you don't ever send that item in again. I ran into issues because I took an item off, deleted the listing, and then 6 months later I had forgotten because I didn't keep record of it, and I ended up putting the item back on, and then it flagged me again, but that was the second time, and so they weren't gracious with me at all, and that's actually when I got banned, and I was banned for 5 weeks. Yes, we have a question.
Lots of questions if we can catch up a little bit. Christine Stokes says hello from Surprise, Arizona.
Surprise! Sorry, I had to say it like that.
Christopher West says, what sells on Amazon?
Everything.
Everything, Christopher, everything. Susan says, just joining, hello from Connecticut, a senior in need of extra income.
Awesome.
Alicia Cole says, hello, Heather from Oklahoma City. And Smoke Signals Creation says, thank you so much for all this great info. And then Tillian 1000 says, hello from New Hampshire.
Awesome. Great. So if you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about, please feel free to pop in. We'll read them because if you have the question, I'm sure somebody else watching live has one. And make sure you hit that like button for me. That'd be great. How many likes are we up to right now?
7.
7 likes. Let's see if we can hit 10. Also, if you're interested in any of the products I have for sale, hookedonpickin.com has got some steep discounts going on. And so go ahead and go to hookedonpickin.com, as you can see there, and you can find a lot of the stuff that I have for sale that I just decided to sell direct to you guys for cheaper prices than if I would have put them on different platforms. So hopefully that's helpful. So like I said, I was banned for 5 weeks on Amazon. It was horrifying because it was right at the time that I was really selling a lot. I was like, this could actually be a legitimate business. We were talking about building this building. We had already talked to the contractor. I mean, the ball was rolling with the business. And then, put on the brakes. The place where I get the most income just completely shut down. And I was devastated. Okay, so these are some of the steps that I took in order to get reinstated on Amazon. Now, if you do too many big boo-boos, they can ban you for life. It's their sandbox, and I have heard of people being banned for life. But if you can kind of follow these steps of making sure you play by their rules, then you shouldn't have any problem at all. Like I said, I sell thousands of items every month, and I still have a good account rating. And so you can build that account rating back up even after you make a boo-boo. So the biggest thing that I would say is you need to contact them and say, why was I banned? Find out why you were banned. And then I had to basically submit like a 3 to 4 step process of how this will never happen again, the steps I'm going to take to prevent it, you know, such as I made a list of things I'm not allowed to sell. Anytime I get a properly intellectual claim, I'll remove my item immediately. I will take careful consideration in looking to make sure I'm not restricted in that area. So I wrote all these things down in a document and basically outlined how I will never make this mistake again. And if I do, these are the steps I'll take to remedy it immediately. And so if you do that, then you submit it. It takes a few weeks for them to look at it. I would recommend just corresponding via email. I've tried to make phone calls a few times and kind of hit a brick wall because nobody really, all the information is not shared right away, and the person you get on the phone may not know your specific circumstance. So if you kind of email back and forth with the Amazon seller account people, that usually works the best. Make sure you always check up in the corner. You'll have a notification anytime you get any kind of email like that, and then check your emails as well because it'll come through as an IP claim or a copyright claim. Things like that will come through. And then you also need to consistently check your account health and find out, where am I lacking? Where am I kind of slacking? Am I answering my messages on time? We have more people online.
Right. Share Seeker says, hello from Maine. Lou Chow says, why asking for likes? What's the difference between 7 like to 50 likes? Lou Chow, it's an algorithm on YouTube. It helps your videos to be seen better. So the more likes.
This is great content, and I really want other resellers to see it. So the more likes you give it, I mean, make sure you like it if you hit the like button. Like, I won't force your hand. You must hit the thumbs up button, you know.
Alicia Cole says, getting ready to start Amazon. I'm excited and nervous.
Cool. Well, hopefully these steps will kind of help you guys out.
And JNC Worship says, hello from Idaho, originally from Rolling Meadows, Illinois.
Awesome.
Source from Paradise says, hi, Heather and Paul. I got shot down when I applied for Amazon FBA almost 2 years ago. I've been gun shy to try again. What would you recommend as a place to start? FBA, merchant fulfilled, categories to start?
I like toys just simply because they generally don't break in shipping, and they usually sell relatively well. So I would recommend toys. If you can do FBA, go for it. But if you want to just kind of get your feet wet, start with a few merchant fulfill. But you're going to have to definitely price your item much lower than anything that is listed currently on FBA in order to sell it over your FBA sellers, because FBA always gets priority and usually always gets the buy box. So if you got something on FBA listed for about $20, you're going to have to put yours at about, I'd say 14, anywhere from the 10 to 14 mark, because anytime you sell merchant fulfill, they charge the buyer shipping. And so you need to take that into consideration, make sure your number is still much lower. So if you can drop it that low, you can sell it merchant fulfill, and then it feels a little safer because it's still in your possession. And that way, you don't have to pay storage fees if you do a bad pick kind of thing. But you're going to sell it much faster if you can send it in FBA. And the first time you do an FBA order, I would highly recommend maybe just starting with 10 to 15 items. Don't do a 200 item order like I did yesterday when I have to separate it into like 7 or 8 boxes and about to lose my mind because of putting in box content. So just start with a small order that usually helps you kind of get the ball rolling, and you can kind of grow from there.
JNC Worship says, would you consider opening an actual store with the items you have?
Like on Amazon? I have an actual store on Amazon.
I don't think that's what he's meaning. I think he's meant like a retail store.
Oh,
brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar.
I'm guessing that's what he's asking for.
Well, I have an online store, hookedonpickin.com, and so you can buy things that way. A retail store entails working regular hours, and that's the reason I do this business, is because I don't really like to work regular hours. Although I do work a lot of hours, my husband has to usually, hey, you're done for the day, take a break, come home, and so I've gotten to the point where I've been really just ambitious about it lately, and so I'm super excited about it. But yeah, I don't like to work regular hours and be locked down to regular like open close hours. Now I could probably do a retail store where I'm only open 2 or 3 days a week. That's an option as well. It's just not something I'm really interested in right now.
Heather's a very hardworking lady. Source from Paradise says, ooh, just noticed your top, too cute.
Thanks. I got this on vacation, I think.
I know.
Yeah, I think we were like in the Bahamas or something.
I think so. Linda says hello. Lou Chow says appreciate for your answer. Thank you, Lou.
Awesome.
Tracy Godman says, do you do consignment?
I had looked into consignment, but to be honest, I sell my stuff better on Poshmark, especially because it doesn't really cost me anything, and the consignment fees and Poshmark fees are very similar. And since I'm already shipping things every day, it's not a problem for me to just go ahead and ship a few more with the Poshmark. If you look at this table, this is my next order I'm actually going to film, so you guys kind of get a sneak peek at what I'm going to film for my next bit of sales. But I've got some more Poshmark sales coming out, and so it's starting to pick up the pace a little. I'm glad, because summer was a little bit slow. So if you guys are kind of seeing some slow sales in the summer, don't be alarmed. They usually start to pick up once people are back in school and in a regular routine, and the weather starts to get cold. People sit in front of the computer and buy stuff.
Source from Paradise says, I'm concerned about the application process since I got shot down. I've been reselling for over 20 years and still don't know what I did wrong on the application. I'd like to start FBA.
I'd go ahead and resubmit and just read really carefully. To be honest, I'm not really super familiar with the application currently right now. I know it's a little bit different because I've been regularly selling on Amazon for about 4 or 5 years, and so the application process was a little bit different. I do know that if you set up your own bank account, that is something that's kind of a needed thing, because that's how they pay you, is direct deposit into a bank account. So you need to have a bank account. Doesn't necessarily have to be a business one. Mine is just a sole proprietor business one. And so, you just go to your bank and find out what you need. And then also, I do know that I think you have to have a couple of bills and things that actually have your name on it, because they need to make sure that you're actually at the location that you're at. And so you need to submit a couple of utility bills or something like that.
Alicia Cole says, what happens to your item if someone turns it or returns it from Amazon? Because I bought Amazon returns. Are you out the money and the product if your product gets returned?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So let's say it's sitting at the warehouse, somebody buys it, and they decide they either don't want it or they call it defective. which I have found has been the case for a lot of Amazon buyers, because if you call it defective, you don't have to pay to ship it back. But if you say you don't want it, you have to pay the shipping back. So there's a lot of times that your item is perfectly fine, but they call it broken or defective. As soon as it gets back to the warehouse, they put it in a shipment to come directly back to you anytime you get returns. Now, there are options for you to dispose of items that just aren't selling, and those are what actually gets put into the Amazon returns pallets. And a lot of people actually will buy those and flip them right back on Amazon, just because their cost of purchase was lower than what the initial seller was. Like, they may not want to sell it because they have $5 invested, it's already below $5. They dispose of it. Amazon.com returns. And so that's kind of what happens to your returns. Most of the time when stuff gets shipped back to me, which is how I have my account set up, I can inspect it, see, okay, this box is brand new, it's never been opened, and I can actually resubmit it and have it be sold again. But I'm really, 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 really picky and careful about that. If I have any question at all that the item's been opened, I never ever resell it on Amazon. It'll either go as used on eBay or I will donate it.
Cotton Flanagan says, I work 50 hours a week at my full-time job. How can I start this? Thanks.
I think Amazon would be the best way for you, because you don't have to invest in as much time. The learning curve of initially signing up on Amazon and sending in your first shipment takes a while to do, but you can spread it out over a few days to figure out how to do it. But the nice thing about sending it in on FBA is once it's at the warehouse, all you have to do is price adjust. That's the only thing that you have to be worried about control-wise on your end, and then answering messages about the specific product. So make sure you know what you're sending in to an extent. A lot of times I will try to take a picture of the back of the box if it has instructions or dimensions and things like that. That way when a question comes in, you can answer that. So you'll price adjust and things like that to make sure you're competitive in the market and your item is actually selling, so you're not priced $3 or $4 above what the lowest price is. And then once it sells, then Amazon handles all the shipping, all the returns, all the tracking, all of that. And then once it actually gets to its destination, the money gets deposited into your basically Amazon kind of fund. And then every 2 weeks, once it's over $100, you get a disbursement into your bank account. So Amazon would be the way that I would go initially, just because if you work 50 hours a week, you're not going to have the time to do like what I do, which is packaging and shipping a lot of stuff like you have to do for eBay and Poshmark.
Sundry Pickers says, hi.
Hey.
Source from Paradise says, I'm finding this feed fascinating. Thank you both for all the info. Source from Paradise says, did you find your Amazon sales also slowed down this summer?
Yes, everything slowed down this summer. My Amazon sales picked up a little bit just because I started sending in things that I didn't usually sell, and I really kicked it into high gear in the amount of items I send in. I was pretty much sending in, I don't know, 50 to 100 items a week, and I started to send in around 200 to 300 items per week, and so that's why my Amazon sales increased, not necessarily because it was summer, but because I was just literally working harder.
Very good. Donna Arnold asks, if you had to choose between Bulq and the other liquidation, I think she's talking about via trading, which one would you pick?
Well, I get that question a lot, and so let me kind of tell you the differences and the reasons why you would want to pick both. So Bulq has full manifests, which is awesome because you generally, for the most part, know exactly what you're going to get. I mean, stuff can get broken in shipping, yes, but they have a full manifest, so you go through the full manifest, you cut and copy those UPC codes into eBay or Amazon and know a kind of a ballpark about what you feel like you can make. The biggest thing is if you find a good one, you need to probably buy it quickly because sometimes they sell fast if they're a real good deal. Via trading is basically roll the dice. You have a category and they literally don't know what's all in the box. Like we got a health and beauty one that had tons of Rogaine packs, which were amazing sellers on Merchant Fulfill, not Amazon FBA because it was considered hazmat. So Merchant Fulfill, they sold for me great. And I made about $30 to $40 every time I sold one of those boxes. And I think I had like 11 in women and like 12 in men. And so I made bank on that one, but they didn't even know that they were in there. They're totally covered, wrapped in black plastic wrap, as you've seen in my unboxings, and they don't know what's at the bottom of that pallet. And so yeah, so that's the thing is via trading, I feel like the hidden treasures are there and you might get things a little bit less expensive. I know shipping with via trading is much less than Bulq if you're buying a pallet. Cases are probably equivalent, but the pallets are much less in shipping, especially if you buy multiple pallets at once. If you buy 1 pallet, you might be about the same as bulk. If you buy 3 or 4 pallets, you're definitely going to be cheaper shipping rate. So those are kind of my pros and cons for both. Via trading, better shipping, much more mystery, could find some gems. Bulk, you know exactly what you're getting. You can usually calculate your profits pretty close, you know, based on what you see on the manifest. And there's flat rate shipping, so you can always kind of calculate that into your price as well. So those are kind of my pros and cons for both of those. Those are my 2 favorite wholesaler or liquidation companies that I work with.
A couple comments that our video went in and out and you're spooling, so hopefully we're back. I've got lots of questions after that. So
yeah, if I cut off on explaining any detail, let me know and
I'll scan down to the very end. Guys, is the video coming through? Give me a
thumbs up or
just a yes or a no.
Yes or no.
Yes or no. Anybody? Just quickly tell me. Is the video coming through?
Yeah. We may have buffered for a minute.
Yes, no problem here. Thank you, Gladys.
All right, thanks.
I'm going to go back up to the questions here. Let's see. Cotton Flanagan says, thank you so much for answering the question. Thompson Jennings says, after you sell an item on Posh, when does the sold items disappear? Do you have to delete them?
I think you actually have to delete them. And so whenever I do any kind of sharing on my closet, I just click available only, and then I can just share just the available ones. But I like to leave the sold ones on there because it shows me how many I've sold in the past. And it's kind of fun to see, like, oh my goodness, I've sold thousands of garments already, you know. And so, yeah, you do actually have to delete the listing in order to get them to disappear.
Jimmy says, hello. First of all, Jesus does win.
Amen.
Do you know how many buyers are on eBay compared to Amazon?
I don't know the exact number.
Well, let's see. Everyone in the world shops on Amazon, and eBay
maybe
about half the world.
Yeah, about half the world. Yeah, I would definitely say as far as traffic, like Amazon's an elephant, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, they're kind of like caterpillars in comparison to how much customers.
Elephant and caterpillars, folks.
Elephant and caterpillars.
First time you heard it here.
Yeah, that's my official.
That's her official
position. Elephant, Amazon, caterpillars, everybody else.
They're all good platforms,
Yeah,
but Amazon, we just sell so much stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
I
I sell probably 20 to 30 items a day on Amazon.
Yep. JNC Warship says, how well has makeup sold for you? P.S. My wife and I love you and your husband.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you watch. And let me see. Makeup, it sells for low prices. That's the problem with makeup. Makeup always sells really good, but it takes a long time to recoup your money, and you battle the price wars with that one. It is a race to the bottom. And so that's something you have to take into consideration. So when you buy makeup, you need to buy it right. So you probably need to be around the $1 or less per item. I think the last case I bought was around $1.55 per item. You know, you're going to sell some things for $16, like foundations and things like that. And then lipsticks, you're going to literally sell for like $3 of profit after fees. So, you know, you got kind of that range. And so just be aware when you buy makeup. Try not to overload. If you buy like a Maybelline, don't get Maybelline the next time because you'll be fighting with yourself with the amount of product that's there. You know, buy a different brand, and that will help kind of diversify.
Tracy Godman asked, does your mystery boxes sell well?
My mystery boxes on Poshmark, yeah, they sell really, really well. It's a good way to move a lot of product at one time, so you're not shipping a bazillion things for Poshmark. But yeah, a lot of people, they'll buy my mystery boxes on Poshmark, and I have them set up where they're per size. And so generally, if you buy a mystery box, like let's say you're a lady and you want size medium, you'll get all size mediums. And I try to vary the styles and colors unless you give me specifics. Like one lady was like, please do not give me flowers. I don't wear flowers. And so you can send me an email and that's fine, or leave a comment in that section and we'll make sure we can try to accommodate if we have the available stock. But anyway, so to be all mediums, and then you always get a free gift. That's kind of fun in my mystery boxes. And then we move much more product, and I'll just go through and delist those particular items once I put them in your mystery box, so they're not single listings anymore.
Amber says, how many listings do you suggest on Posh before you see daily sales?
Well, you have to share. That's the
Yeah.
biggie. It doesn't matter how many listings you have. I have a friend who had 10 listings and she sold like 2 or 3 things in the first week because she shared. And so if you haven't seen my Poshmark sharing video, I go through how to share on your phone, how to share on your desktop, and then different ways to share faster or slower with different details on each sharing option. So check that out, my Poshmark sharing video. But the sharing is really the thing. I try to keep my Poshmark store under 600. I think it's a little over 600 right now, but it makes it very time consuming to share that many things, even with my husband and I both working from top to bottom, with our smartphones trying to share. It takes, I think, a little over an hour right now to share the entire closet. So if you stay under 600, it's a little bit more manageable. And then a lot of you, like if you share, if you only have 25 or 50 items, and you can share 5 or 6 times a day in probably less than 10 minutes. And so sharing is the big reason why you get sales.
Gladys W says, I feel like Bulq is a good starting liquidation company.
Yes, Bulq is good because you walk in with a little bit more knowledge of what you're buying. Via Trading, I jumped into Via Trading simply because I went to their location and saw how they ran everything. And so I'm a little bit more familiar with working with a sales manager and getting what I want. And it's usually about a week back and forth with my sales manager to get exactly what I want. But I'm a little bit picky. And so if you want to try a case or something, they do sell cases online that I've done really well with. Like I said, the makeup and some of the clothing. I've got a clothing case I'm going to be boxing fairly soon in the future, so you'll see that in the next couple of weeks. And I've still got 4 pallets to unbox. Woo! I got some work, and I got 2 pallets from Bulq on the way, right? 2 pallets from Bulq on the way. I just ordered today, and then I have a new liquidator that I'm going to be unboxing. So watch my channel. Sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'll have a new liquidator that I'll be kind of unboxing, and this is totally an experiment for me. And so I don't know if it'll be good or bad or what condition or whatever. But anyway, they got in contact with me, and so I was like, absolutely, I want a pallet from you just to see, because I'm always looking for new wholesalers. So.
Source from Paradise says, Paul is an amazing cameraman / narrator.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
that was
he
very
is amazing.
Kind.
He is
I
amazing.
try to tell Heather that all the time, that I am an amazing husband.
Yes, he is amazing.
Gladys W says, you can't delete sold listings on Poshmark.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's completely right, but I'll check in a little bit later.
I know you can't edit sold listings,
that
for sure.
Is true.
I do know that, but I haven't really tried to delete. So those of you who do work, deal with Poshmark, let us know what your thoughts are, and can you delete sold listings?
Right.
You might be right.
Methel says, hi from Canada.
Hi.
And Gladys W says, elephants and caterpillars, y'all are great.
Elephants and caterpillars.
You heard it here first. That's how she compares things. Elephants and caterpillars, which someone please explain to me what that means, because I'm not sure. Big and little, I get, but Okay, thanks, guys. Says Jimmy. Methel says, do you list the same item in different places?
I used to cross-post is what I would call it, where I would have some on my hookedonpickin.com store, some on my eBay store, some on my Poshmark store. And then I made the glorious mistake of selling on one platform and not unlisting on another, and then I didn't have the item, and then I had to cancel the order, and I felt so bad, and I had to explain it to the customer. Anyway, long story short, I get too confused. So I just list on one platform for each item. Now, I may have multiple items. Like I got a lot of my patriotic hats that I sell with the flags. Well, I've got 12 of them, so I will legitimately do like 6 on Poshmark, 6 on hookedonpickin.com. So I will do that, but I know that I have the legitimate inventory to do both. And if it starts selling more on Poshmark or the other platform, then I do adjust the numbers both ways. So hopefully that answers your question.
Diane says, shipping, do you pay shipping or does the customer? I think she might be thinking about Poshmark, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well, I can talk about it both ways. Amazon, your Prime customers are not going to pay shipping. If you merchant fulfill, they do pay shipping. As far as Poshmark, they handle all the shipping. You never ever see any shipping money. Poshmark has a flat fee for their shipping, unless it is more than 5 pounds. If they do a huge bundle, then generally you never see the transition of money for shipping. You just get the fees for the listing only, and Poshmark sends a prepaid label to you that's already paid for. So it could weigh 2 ounces or 4.5 pounds, and they're going to pay the exact same price for shipping. And so I just use everything goes USPS priority mail, and so I order a lot of the USPS boxes for free, and that way I'm not even paying for, tape and all that kind of stuff to package my stuff. Check that out. I also have a Poshmark shipping video that gives you all the number boxes that I normally use for Poshmark.
Diane says, boxing it for home goods, do you buy boxes or do you have to go to UPS for shipping?
I usually order them off USPS.com, and I'll use various different sizes of boxes. Like, you've got these are my smaller ones that I use, and then I've got some bigger ones. They're they're about yay big. There's one over there on the pallet.
I'll scan around a little bit later.
Yeah, he'll scan around a little bit later. You'll see that size box. So I almost always order from USPS.com. Now, if you have something larger, just use like an old Amazon box. You can throw a priority mail label on those brown boxes as well.
Christopher says, hey, y'all, first time watching you live. I usually just listen on my way to work.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Christopher.
Thanks for jumping on live. How
Absolutely.
many thumbs up are we at?
29.
29 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 35.
If you want to give Heather a coffee, and
yeah,
she
if you want to
definitely
buy
needs
me
her
a coffee, because
feel free to donate.
I need some espresso to talk a little bit faster.
That's right. Gladys W says, I'm super excited for your Via Trading shoe palette and the new Liquidator. Absolutely.
Yes.
We've got
we've got
shoe
two
pallets
shoe
right
pallets.
behind there.
We've got some high-end clothing. It's a case from Via Trading, so that might be something you're interested in. Well, if you can't handle the pallet size items, you can do a smaller box.
Gladys W says, I think you have to edit to delete on Poshmark. You can't delete the sold listings because you can't edit. But if there is another way to delete the sold listings, then I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys know, let us know, because that'll be helpful for all the viewers.
Diane says, I get store pulls from they won't fit into those boxes. Thank you for all your info.
Yeah, you can just use a plain brown box. Go to your local grocery store and get their leftover boxes. They usually have really good sized boxes as well.
You can buy boxes, Diane, but it can get a little pricey.
Yeah, I buy one of my favorite sizes of boxes is if you go to Walmart, you can get, there's large moving boxes over by like the packing tape in the office supply section. So you can get large and medium moving boxes. And there, I'm trying to see if I have one.
Diane, you can also get on Uline. They have every shape and size of box. They can get pricey. I think it's better if you buy in bulk, but anyway, there's all kinds of ways. Thompson Jennings says, I totally thumbs up this video. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thanks.
Source from Paradise. I heard United States Postal Service might not be delivering free boxes, etc., because the holiday season is coming up. Not sure it's true, but people might want to get an order in anyway. Could be.
It usually sometimes will take me 4 weeks to get a grouping of boxes. And so I would suggest, like, I buy stacks of these at a time, as you can see, and it's this box here. And so I buy stacks at a time.
You don't buy, you order.
Well, yeah, sorry, I don't buy them. You're right. I order them for free just off USPS.com. And so it usually will take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks to get them. And so I would recommend go ahead and, just order yourself a stack and have this size and this size and this size and just have a little shipping station.
Ashley says hi from Southern Illinois.
Awesome. Hi, Ashley.
And I think we're caught up right now.
Okay. Awesome. So for those of you who've been watching, we were talking about Amazon account health, and then we started answering a lot of other reseller questions. But I kind of want to give you an idea of what we got coming up and kind of the status of my space right now. We're going to kind of give you a tour. So I'm currently packaging some Poshmark right now. We're going to on how much my sales were on this 2 days worth of sales, because I do it every 2 days. And then coming up, which you guys are really excited about, I'm sorting my Legos over there. And then most of this is going to get sold in a garage sale if it doesn't sell on hookedonpickin.com. So go to hookedonpickin.com. I've got some steep discounts of a lot of this stuff. Check out my eBay store. I've got some stuff on eBay as well. And so, check all that stuff out. And then all this Lego stuff is Legos. A lot of people have been asking about the Legos. They're on my eBay store. So check that out. And then this is what I have going on in the future. So I've got 3 more pallets en route. So I need to get these unboxed. And so I will be doing them in the very, very near future. So I've got 2 HBA pallets and then 2 shoe pallets of assorted shoes. So I'm really excited about that. And then the box on top there behind the gray tote is actually going to be high-end clothing, like Macy's and things like that. And then I've also got mystery boxes that I sell on my hookedonpickin.com. They're mystery girl and boy toy boxes. If you guys send me an email and give me an age range, I can also kind of give specifics about that as well. And so hopefully, this gives you an idea of what we got going on in the future.
Sabrina B says, as you get closer to the holidays, it takes longer to get the United States Postal Service free boxes.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Source from Paradise says, I think they were saying because of the holidays being so busy, United States Postal Service won't deliver free boxes to residents for a couple of months, like October through December.
All right, so stock up on your boxes, guys,
That's
because
right.
you're definitely going to need them.
And then Diane said, I did eBay, PayPal, did not send me the money. Does Poshmark use PayPal? And are they good at paying you?
Okay, Poshmark, you have to have, I think, was it over $100?
Right.
And they basically, just like Amazon, keep it in a Poshmark account, and then you do have to put in a bank account information, and then you transfer whenever you want the money. And so it's totally up to you to transfer the money. And PayPal as well, if you attach it to a bank account, you can either request a check or attach it to a bank account, and then you have to transfer the PayPal money. You can also get a PayPal debit card if you want to use that for your business as well. So that works out really well.
Sourced from Paradise says, what category or categories do you recommend starting with if he does get approved by Amazon FBA?
Toys are always a good favorite, especially this time of the year, because we're going to start going into fourth quarter in the next month or so. So be stocking up all your Christmas stuff right now. And then I would say general merchandise is an easy one. And I kind of gravitate towards general merchandise simply because most of that stuff doesn't get broken in shipping. So I don't like to do glassware or anything that could potentially break in shipping, just simply because it's a little bit more of a hassle. If you know a lot about technology and tablets, there's usually find a lot of that kind of stuff, liquidation. I'm just afraid of that because I don't know enough about technology to be able to resell it or fix it up or things like that. But if you've got knowledge in that area, you definitely can make a buck.
Source from Paradise says, and going forward, which categories are easiest to get ungated in / hardest?
Generally, when you first sign up, you will be ungated in most toys. There'll be specific brands you won't be allowed to sell in, like you can't sell Melissa and Doug. They're kind of exclusive on Amazon. I think Lego took me a little while to break into the Lego field. Some Star Wars, I'd say about 50% of the Star Wars toys you can sell, and then the other 50%, for whatever reason, are kind of gated. So those are usually automatic. General merchandise is usually pretty good. Clothing is usually ungated. Difficult to get into. Automotive department, it took me a while to get into the automotive department. Health and beauty is difficult to break into. I'm trying to think of some of the other categories. Of course, books is already usually ungated in books immediately as well. And there's still a lot of money in books. People forget about it. That's how Amazon started.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hardest categories. Did you ever say hardest categories?
Yeah, health and beauty.
Sorry,
and,
yeah. Source from Paradise says, and do you find Bulq to be the best liquidation company for general merchandise?
I'd say yeah. They're definitely one of my top.
They're not bad.
They were a lot less expensive 2 years ago. Their prices have gone up as they've gotten more popular, but the prices on Amazon have also gone up. But I'm not sure that Amazon prices, as far as inflating their prices, has kept up with how Bulq has increased their prices.
Right.
So you just got to be real picky. I utilize the watch list on my Bulq account a lot, where I'll look through a pallet and go, ooh, this is a really great pallet if it was $100 cheaper. And so I stick it in my watch list, and sometimes it gets bought out from underneath me by another buyer, or I will get it that cheap. But I just kind of make a note and go, okay, if this is $100 cheaper, I'll go ahead and buy it. And so utilize that watch list, especially when you've already done a lot of research on that specific manifest. That'll help you out. But I get real picky on what I buy from Bulq.
Yep, and make sure to check that manifest.
Always look at. You can look at the entire manifest. And
Bulq is really good at that.
They are
really good at that. So,
and if it doesn't have the UPC or the ASIN, a lot of times you can find it under the title they give, because it's the specific title that it's usually listed on Amazon or eBay.
Right. Source from Paradise says, "What liquidation company do you use to buy toys?"
Bulq. Bulq has been my best toy palette. Right. I've gotten some really cool, like, licensed merchandise toys from Via Trading that have done decent for me, but I'd say Bulq is where I usually make the majority of my money as far as good profitability with toys.
Very good. Let's see. Source from Paradise says, sorry for all the questions. I'm taking advantage of your generosity.
No, that's
Hey,
fine.
no problem.
That's why I do these live feeds on every Thursday at
right.
11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I always do the live feed for about an hour. And that's why, is because some questions that you text me or send me on my Hooked on Pickin Facebook page, I can't answer in just 2 words.
Sure.
I'll answer your question if it's just a 1 or 2 word answer. If not, I also offer 30-minute consultation calls for dirt cheap. Check hookedonpickin.com. You can sign up for any of those. The link is also in the description below. Yep. And I can specifically give you advice for your specific situation as well. I love doing that, and I love talking to you guys.
And if you feel real bad about the generosity, you can just donate $1 million to her right now.
Yeah, or $5 and I'll buy a coffee.
Brian Wiley says, hey guys, it's been a while.
Hey,
good to see
yeah,
you
we
back.
haven't seen Brian on in a while. How's it going, Brian?
Blessed and highly favored. I like that name. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I'm just trying to read it before I say it. Hi, Heather and your hubby. We love you guys. Thank you for all your teaching and videos. They're extremely, I'm assuming, valuable. Question: could you please tell us where did you get those shelves in your warehouse?
These?
Oh, the black shelves?
Walmart.com.
Walmart.com for the black shelves, and the gray shelves over there from Scott Air Force Base.
Yes, there's a local
sort of.
Air Force Base, and then there's a guy who has a contract where he gets like all their leftover office stuff, and so he gets truckloads, and we bought them from him, and he even delivered them to
I know,
us.
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's the one that we're actually looking into doing an interview with him, and sometime in the very near future. He has a very unique space.
For Real Girl 42 says, hi all. Well,
hi all.
Viking's mother says, the only problem I find on the Bulq manifest is the inflated MSRP. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to the MSRP that Bulq puts on, 30% of what they put is generally what you're going to make.
Right.
That's just a rough guesstimate. I mean, you could have worse or better, and I've had worse or better. But like if it says $10,000, you're roughly going to make $3,000 as a reseller, because that's the price tag they put on when it was brand spanking new before it even got clearance at the store. So, you know, a $90 shirt, nobody's going to pay $90, especially on Amazon for that shirt. They're going to pay like 20 or 30. And so I always just look at it, that MSRP number for retail value, just 30%. And then if it's still room, once you go down to that 30%, then maybe look through the manifest. Yes.
Source from Paradise says, this is my first live feed. I usually have to catch up in the evening, so I enjoy this very much.
Awesome.
Great to have you, man. Methel says, thank you. Do you ship locally or worldwide? And if you ship worldwide, can you please talk about shipping? And I can't find the like button.
Okay, if you can't find the like button, just close your live chat and you should appear. I don't know if it works on everybody's phone, but usually if you turn off the live chat and then click the like button, you should be able to reopen the live chat. Okay, so to answer your question about worldwide shipping, yes, I ship worldwide. On eBay, you can use the global shipping program, or you can ship direct to a customer. I sold a lot of Triumph motorcycle parts overseas to Europe because they're really popular there. And it's really, really easy to do international shipping. I do have a video on how exactly to fill out all the paperwork for the customs and international shipping. Don't get scared. It's not really that hard. You print everything off your computer and you just sign a date, and that's it. And the computer for eBay puts everything in that you need to know as far as details. As far as shipping worldwide, I do not do that on Amazon. There are different Amazon platforms per what country you're in. So there's Amazon Mexico, Amazon Canada, Amazon Europe, Amazon Germany, Amazon Australia. I currently only sell on Amazon.com, which is the United States. I've not broken into those other fields, but I do have a couple of programs that tell you, I think it's Buybot will tell you other programs, or maybe it's Amazon Scout Pro, that will tell you if it's available better in another market. And so if you're interested in selling on different Amazon platforms, you can. I'm open to send, I can, if I wanted to, sell in Canada and Mexico. I just never have yet. But I do have those countries open currently on my Amazon account. So that's worldwide. As far as my own Hooked on Pickin, yes, I can sell internationally on Hooked on Pickin. If it doesn't automatically calculate a price if you live in another country, please contact me and we can do a separate invoice for you purchasing an item, and then I can calculate the shipping for you and then submit the invoice that way through my hookedonpickin.com store. So if you're interested in anything on hookedonpickin.com and you do live internationally, please contact me through the hookedonpickin.com website and I can answer all your questions.
Blessed and highly favored says, sorry, I meant on your video, extremely valuable. Yeah, I read it the right way, I think. Don't worry about the typos. We got you. Brian Wiley says, do bulk items qualify for sale on Amazon?
If they're in brand new condition, I sell some items from Bulq. You cannot utilize a Bulq invoice for ungating, though. I do know that. Amazon does not accept any kind of liquidators for ungating. There are some liquidators that they'll accept some because they get direct from distributor, but I do know Bulq does not count for an ungating invoice. But yes, I do sell some brand new items because there are a lot of items you get, and especially the uninspected returns or brand new category, that legitimately the item is brand new. And so that's the only thing I ever sell on Amazon. It has to look in pristine, gorgeous condition. Anything that does not sell, is not in that condition, is for sale on my hookedonpickin.com. And the reason why it's on for sale, either not on the Amazon platform, it has some shelfware on the box where the box is just a little bit smushed, but the item is perfectly in good condition. And so those things will be for sale on hookedonpickin.com at a severely discounted price in comparison to what you find them on Amazon. And also some of the unique things that just aren't on the Amazon marketplace are for sale on hookedonpickin.com or my eBay store. So check those out in the link in the description below.
Get it quick. What is it? In 2 weeks is our garage sale.
This is our garage sale, and we're going to clear this place out,
right.
so get it quick.
We're trying to break our $700
Yeah, last
goal.
time we had a garage sale, it was $700 I made.
$700 this woman made in a garage sale. Isn't that amazing? Brian Wiley says, but will the invoice back you up should there be a claim?
No.
No.
Nope. If there's a claim, the invoice will not back you up because you got it from a liquidator. Now, if you order direct from wholesaler or a distributor, that's a possibility, but I wouldn't test the fences.
Right. Chris says, what items do you recommend to sell on Amazon for someone just starting out? Thanks.
Toys and general merchandise would be my favorites. If you go back and watch this video, I go into more detail and I elaborate why I choose those categories. Clothing is also a good one too. Things that won't break in shipping is generally my rule of thumb. Mm-hmm. All right.
Think we're caught up?
We're all caught up. So for those of you who don't know, we went through some of the things that you have to make sure that you do to keep yourself from getting banned on Amazon. And don't be afraid to sell on Amazon. Like I said, I sell 20 to 30 items a day on Amazon. There is no way that I would have time to ship 20 or 30 items a day and list them on like a platform like Poshmark or eBay. Now, granted, I do every 2 days sell about 15 items on Poshmark, but it is time consuming finding all of those items, shipping them, and listing them. And so just make sure that you look into Amazon. I think it's a platform that would be great. I don't really know a lot about the application process these days, but I do know you need to have a bank account to attach it to. You need to have a couple of bills in your name so that they can verify where you actually live. And if you have those things, then you can probably get the application process started. If you sell less than 40 items a month on Amazon, you don't need to sign up for a store. Anytime you go over 40, it's definitely much more cost effective to just have the subscription to pay $40 a month, because if not, you're paying about $1 an item for fees if you don't have a store. So anytime obviously you go over 40, it's going to be much more beneficial to go on Amazon and get the store. So once you have the store, some things you want to make sure you do. You want to stay engaged with your customers. Anytime you have a customer message, you need to answer it within 24 hours. Otherwise it dings your account. You also need to make sure that if you're shipping seller fulfilled, anything merchant fulfilled, and those would be things that are like hazmat or things that just sell better, seller fulfilled, things like that, you need to ship those within 24 hours as well. And so keeping those things in mind, and then making sure you comply with all of the emails you get for seller compliance. But hopefully it's been helpful to learn how not to get banned on Amazon, that you can actually sell on Amazon and do a really great job. And hopefully it's been helpful, everything that you've learned. And I love all the questions and answers I was able to give on this live feed. So keep up the good work. Get selling a lot of stuff, and sales will pick up now that summer has kind of getting officially over. So get ready for fourth quarter, and remember, in the end, Jesus wins.